The best part is I'm not a YouTube boomer like you, Loco. You know, I'm not one of these old school YouTubers. I'm like the new fresh YouTuber. You know, I'm down with the cool YouTube kids doing these shorts and stuff, and yeah. Alright guys, it's the grand finals of the WardiTV PTR event number 2. In the top right, we have our red Terran player. He TvT'd his way through the round of 8 and round of 4, taking out Clem and Gumiho in the process. It is ByuN in the top right corner of the map. As in the bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg is going to be SHIN. He came through Spirit and Goblin. Neither of the players who won their groups get into the finals today. Fun little story. If you're watching this on YouTube, do consider liking and subscribing to the video. I'm assuming that this is also going to be an upload as well, so I will say that because I don't say that at the start of a lot of videos. And thank you everyone for supporting the tournament and the series. It's been a great one. Let's hope for a great grand final. A question from the chat: did I consider not having videos on PTR tournaments? Seems worthwhile to force exploring the new maps. Well, in this case, all of the maps that are in the map pool are new anyways, so they're all new maps. And I think the veto process is actually very important. That's why I always keep the veto process in the Team Liquid map contest tournaments as well. Because I think it's important for people to see which maps get vetoed a lot, or which races are vetoing certain maps. I actually think it gives a lot of information. And overall, I think it gives better games if you provide a veto process as well. Because some maps are naturally just not going to be good for certain matchups. So why make, you know, a lot of your... Because then it gets boring, because if a certain map is just not good for a matchup, it's better to have that vetoed than to have someone just pick it every single time and play a bad game, you know? I think we've seen it, honestly, a fair share of the maps as well over the course of this PTR. I don't think any map's really been unloved. There's definitely been periods, I think El Dorado took a little while for people to start playing on and stuff, but I think over time, the amount everyone's played on each map is definitely kind of evened out, to be honest. Overlord just going to chill on the corner as we settle ourselves into this. A couple of lings will begin to come across the map as well. Couple queens building, hatchery coming through. As... yeah, we take a couple moments to settle into this grand final on Amygdala for map number 1. A couple of lings are going to get here. As ByuN plays the Noah Reaper, so the lings can come across the map. Good little defense as those lings get turned away. And we get our queens and our drones continue to build. Hatchery coming up from SHIN as well. Hellions are building. Starport moves to the tech lab. Roachron and a few drones coming up as well. Hatchery settles in on the third base. The Roachron obviously is of note because it tells us a lot about what style we're going to see here. Shin's already massing up a bit of gas. Unfortunately for him, ByuN is going to be playing the Banshees already. That naturally puts ByuN into a good place against roaches or any sort of roach attack. It's always nice to have Banshees when roaches are involved. 5 roaches in production. We do have the queens on the way as well. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. I thought for a moment the Hellions might dive by, but it's not going to matter too much anyway. The roaches really are just spawning now. Let's start to settle. I'm just going to listen to these lings break through these rocks. Can the roaches please help finish the rocks off? God damn it. I'm so sick of listening to these rocks be attacked. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where the damage is. I cannot see that Banshee on the minimap at all. It's in the natural. Gets past the spore. 6 drones going down and SHIN taking some serious damage. Roach is seen As he does have some roaches across the map. It's going to be a 7th drone. ByuN getting some major damage done here right away. Queen going to take a few hits. Hellions going to try and drive by into the third bases. ByuN wants it all. He wants all the drone kills. 10 workers killed so far. Let's make it 12. As you do see the Hellions getting out of there. Banshee back onto the Roach Roaring. Roach is going to finish off this depot, and they are going to get in. Where's the second Banshee? Yeah, it was on the map, so it is going to have to pull back, and that's going to be Shin's chance to equalize the worker count a little bit here. As the SCV pull is going to cost you a few workers, but it does also help to speed up the defense, so there's a win-where there. As you play the cleanup. And +1 coming through. We lost 22 drones on the other side of the map, though. I mean, that's serious damage. Now, Shin is at 59 workers still. But those are workers he's had to make to rebuild the worker count rather than just, making more of a worker lead. So that is a huge factor. +1 attack coming through. Combat shields in production. As we have the Banshees pushed back away. Marines are going to get around the left-hand side. Again, definitely has some workers to make to catch up a little bit, but I think Shin is going to struggle army-wise because he's had to remake those workers. Like I say, it's very easy just to be like, well, he's still got a worker lead, but it has come at a cost, and that cost is army. And he's playing a supply-heavy army as well, so 38 supply roaches doesn't really stand for much. I like where ByuN is at, and he's doing the right things. Move like that is let's just cloak up these Banshees. Move us here to the right. Wants to run into the spore on the left, so this doesn't really do much. But yeah, he does the right thing. Getting a 4th base cancel right is the sort of thing that gives you an advantage in this game and builds on what you've had. Queens will get there. Hatchery is going to cancel. He actually got the kill the first time around, so kind of cancel this time. Shin does not mess up that. We pull back through at the top. As the 1-1 missile upgrades, the link speed building through, the infestation pit is coming up as well. We continue to get all of that in production here. A couple hatches still coming up, and that Queen's going to hold out in the center. Kind of excited. We're kind of, surviving through the mid game right now. I'd love to see these two kind of get to some later games. We've seen them play a lot of later games in the past. We know that that's a possibility. And I think it's one of the cool things to test with that Ghost obviously being nerfed a little bit, the supply cost of it being increased. So I actually think that would be one of the cool things to maybe see if we can get a longer game out between these two over the course of this series. Maybe even a couple. Dare I ask for a couple longer games? Am I being greedy? Maybe a little bit as... Marines is going to lift back up. Roach is coming back over. Carapace is about to finish. Link speed is on the way. Firewall so bad. Hope your PC gets better soon. There's a couple of medevacs continue to escape away through the bottom side. It's just going to skirt out of there. Again, T2 upgrades on the way up. Siege Tank, Marauder, and Marines all in production. The Bioforce will knock through a set of rocks in the center as well, so we work through that. The medevacs will unload on the corner. And obviously we have a lot of creep teamers that we can maybe jump on. Fire will get there. Rocks go down. A couple of tanks we can maybe move on through with as well. SCVs are going to long distance onto this gold base. A little bit more creep getting cleaned up as our T2 upgrades and Dwelling Claws all on the way through as well. In the bottom right corner, we're going to jump back on top and a Roach there, taking some shots as well. +1 melee, +2 carapace, all producing 11 additional Banes and that Baneling speed as we go. Adrenal Glances going to be huge for a Shin in the late game. Oh, over here, fight actually breaks out. The Banes don't even have Bane speed, but Shin saw an opportunity to dive on this army. Couldn't get my mouse over to the left side of the map, to the mini-map fast enough to click on that. Sorry, guys. As Roach is just going to be setting the medevacs load back up. We're going to try and cross the Battle Siege Tank down there. There are other tanks to cover this area, but it does mean taking this gold becomes a little bit more difficult. The battle of who controls the middle is so fascinating, and obviously Terran's going to try and hold this gold, but then a Terran army doesn't usually want to sit out in the middle of the map so much. Usually you want to kind of, you know, either be attacking or kind of sitting back properly turtled. Widowmine does not go off as SHIN plays the daring game of sitting on the edge of that Widowmine's range. Banes continue through. ByuN continue to pull back. Another Bane lane looking to connect. We're just going to run. We finally turn and fight that. More Biles into the mineral line and a few more SCVs go down. SHIN bullying ByuN over on that gold location. We will unload in the corner here. Overlord going to take a few shots of damage. Roaches are going to show up. Those Marines will go down. Load the Marines back into the medevac as good job from SHIN, though. I feel like he's been very successful in the middle of the map, and anything you do to slow ByuN down is going to make your later game that much stronger. As we could have maybe tried to send those Banes forward there. He didn't have many, though. It's a risk. You know, maybe you believe your Banes can connect, but it's ByuN. He can also micro very well, too. Love the Biles to knock this Widowmine down immediately, though. The Biles have been great, consistently finding good targets. Like I say, SHIN holding the middle of the map, keeping the creep here as well goes a long way for him. There's another round of Biles. ByuN has to pull the SCVs. He's going to open up the rocks on the left-hand side, which gives him more attacking opportunities. Right now, he doesn't have a lot of movement because he's kind of... Oops, sorry. He gets kind of through these rocks and he has to go downwards. Now he's going to be able to go across through the top of the map, so that makes it a bit more complicated for SHIN to find a defense. Yep, he's going to pull across all the way there. The medevac going to drop in the main base at the same time as ByuN tries to test the multitasking of his opponent. Lane Bane trying to run through. Ultra's leading the charge forward. ByuN will lift up and get out. The Marines in the corner here unload for an Overseer. That'll be about it for now. Time to lift up and get away there as Widowmine's going to go blow up some of the Vipers. The medevacs will get out alive. Blinding Cloud goes down as we are going to see the tanks knocked out, and we are going to see once again the gold base under fire. Once more the SCVs pull away. We're actually going to send a bunch of them to this blue base, this right side fifth that gets set up. I wonder if ByuN just kind of maybe focused on... Honestly, it may not even be terrible to just drop mules on the gold. It's not exactly efficient because mules don't mine more from the gold than they do the blue bases, but maybe a way to just kind of have units that just aren't as valuable if they die, if that makes sense. Like, mules are important, but you're not losing resources when they die necessarily as... Oh my goodness, the blinding clouds. The parasitic bomb plus the just units on the ground going big there as ByuN tried to lift out to get away. Never mind, it's not really going to matter what I'm talking about with the base and what you send there because it looks as though SHIN is just going to brute force his way through. Talk about relentless pressure. SHIN did not stop. He just went and went and went. And he did not look back at any point in time. SHIN is going to take game number 1 of this best of 5 grand final, and he looked very good in doing so. He's on a roll today. In the bottom left corner of the map, we're going to kickstart game 2 of this best of 5 final with the red Zerg player leading the series and looking to extend it to match point opportunity. We have SHIN. Takes on the blue Terran in the bottom right corner of the map. We have ByuN. Grand finals here today in the WardiTV PTR event. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. Game 2. Excited to see what the plan becomes. Take a few moments. Indy left us a couple series ago. I've had to do my own observing, but in a moment just for follow someone's camera while we stand up and stretch the legs a little bit. It's honestly nice to see there seems to be way more PTR testing this time around. Yeah, I think it's been easier to kind of get players to test it because there's not been other things coming up. I think last time we had PTR testing, there was still kind of other tournaments looming, and not all tournaments were on PTR, so people didn't really want to go and test it because they weren't sure if anything was going to change. Now you don't really have much else to do at the moment, right? So you may as well play on the PTR, you may as well test things out, you may as well play in the PTR tournaments. Overlord just going to come overhead on the natural. We'll spot to see what's up. Reaper firing a few shots away. This is the first Reaper of the series, right? Because he went for Marine first last time. That's why the Lings got across the map early on. Factory in the reactor still building through. The command center on the way in. Ling speed producing from SHIN. No surprises there just yet. Queen's gonna fire. Reaper takes a couple shots. And so you have that Queen bouncing around. The Ling speed coming up. The command center and orbital both on the way. And get that going. When does the patch fully drop? We still don't know. My personal guesstimate is within the next 1 to 2 weeks. I think is pretty likely. But we have no actual official information or anything along those lines, so it really is just a guesstimate. We have no way of actually knowing. Queen's come about, Reaper hanging. CC is about to finish. He's gonna nil, gonna go back the other way. He's gonna fire. Hellions and Reaper get pushed back. Interference Matrix and Stimpack coming through. Factory lands, reactor comes up, couple Marines is gonna go hit the Overlord. Hellions will try and break through. The couple Queens are going to be moving about as well. Banshee and Marine continue to come in. Stimpack coming through. A couple Creep Tumors taking some shots. The barracks are still producing. Getting the gold base I'm starting to mine here as well. A couple of Evolution Chambers will go down as the Queens move back up into the main base. The Banshee slips away down through the bottom side. Yeah, ByuN went for no cloak. Sometimes you start the Raven upgrade just to kind of make it look like cloak, which is, I believe the interference matrix is also cheaper, so it means you have less resource investment in the fake out until you cancel it. So yeah, slight factor there as the Hellions gonna shoot at the Queens. A couple of shots coming through. Hellions gonna try and get around to that top side. The melee upgrade's on the way up. Lings in the extractors building. Lair is on the way through as well. So we continue to bring that all into play. 1-1 upgrades in the combat shield building also. Balin Nest is going to come through from SHIN, so yeah, just going to get into Ling Bane for this next section of the game. El Dorado has continued to be the map we expected it to be, which is interesting, fun, so many players experimenting with different ways to try and kind of, you know, expand on this map, play on this map, position on this map. ByuN going to go for the traditional forward gold base as the Terran. It does give SHIN some freedom and maybe start working through the bottom of the map, and SHIN's not being afraid to take that bottom side gold base as well, so it's definitely been one thing he's been happy to do, even the gold on his side of the map as well, via the bottom as well, so yeah, SHIN is perhaps going to focus there, and I don't mind that either when the Terran is likely going to be pushing through the top of the map. Expanding to the forward base in the center seems pretty rough for you as a Zerg right now. Those things move around. The Hydra Den is coming up. The Baneling's speed is coming up. Just seeing the Marines and tank and Hellions continue to press forward. They continue to step up as the... Yeah, a few extra Banes will come morphing in. So a few Banelings morphing. Just going to be having our Queens trying to fight some damage out. A few Balings are going to go back the other direction. The Marines have to step away here. Tank firing. Queen's getting chased. Good position for ByuN just before. First of all, 1-1, but also Baling speed is done. Gives you a good time to fight, a good window to fight in, where you're going to be advantaged, and that's exactly what ByuN tries to take advantage of right there in those few moments. Pulls the Marines back to the watchtower on the bottom side now. We hold out, a couple of Lings go down. We'll step forwards, and a couple of creep teamers will get knocked down as well. Creep teamers fall, and we're going to turn on to some Banes. A little miss micro. A few Marines kind of stepped forward instead of jumping into the medevac, it felt like. That was a very un-ByuN-like micro mistake. Two melee upgrades building. The groove spines on the way. We have the drop on the top side from ByuN starting to go through the creep tumors. And making progress. Obviously still have the drop available on the bottom as well. That Baneling gets target fired as ByuN takes that fight. The Lings do get a wrap around, but it's not... it was actually good enough against what was there. The reinforcements show up, and they're going to be what makes the difference. This time I don't think we've actually got enough, though, as we will see the Woodamine connecting on some Lings. And the Banshees are going to make themselves heard of again as they hit the hatchery down for a bit of damage. ByuN was trying to activate himself on the bottom side of the map too, but that's not done anything. And SHIN has once more pushed back this ByuN pressure, and he has held on without taking serious hurt, which is always an impressive feat because ByuN plays so quickly. He's so good at being everywhere. It's not always a guarantee that you're going to be able to push back and shut down this aggression. Being Hydra Gathering, we use 2-2 melee upgrades and the muscular augments coming up. 2-2 attack upgrades coming up as well. Marines, tank, medevacs, window mines all stepping forward. We do have our bio units coming about as well. Gains one more. Hydras will gather. Bio mine up to the top as we get rid of some Lings. Oh, siege tank gonna get grabbed. Widow mines actually do get burrowed. We will have one successful Widow mine shot going off there as ByuN continues to press his way through for the moment, stepping forward. He still holds the watchtower with a group of Marines also. SHIN continues to deflect on two sides of the map. Trying for a catch here. Needs to get back around the top to maybe surround. A couple Widow mines in a good place as well. I'm going to turn this attack into an attack over here. He's going to hit the gold base, the third of the Terran. Going to take some damage as the Hydras can obviously shoot over the mineral lines. ByuN actually has to lift up on the top side as SHIN forces him away. Very action-packed game as obviously ByuN continues to fight everywhere, but SHIN really is doing his absolute best to match him on that. And Medevac staying in range of the Hydras. That's hurting. Some Lings get around the right side. They're going to try and run by onto this base. That's not a planetary yet. Great time to show up, and those SCVs are all going to be lost. This is slipping out of control for ByuN all of a sudden. 18 SCVs go down. He does get some Lings in return. The Hydras are still here denying the gold base mining, though. Yeah, it is absolutely slipping out of control for ByuN. He's not doing much with his own counterattacks anymore either. It is becoming more and more troublesome as we speak. Okay, Hydra back to the bottom. Medevac's in the top. 2-2, about to finish on the engineering base. Still close starting up. Marine Marauder still producing. We got a few Banes trying to run to the front here. We do have the Bio continue to fight. A couple creep teamers will go down. That hatchery will go down as well. So hatchery will fall. This next hatch in trouble. On the other side, Lings are going to try and surround this planetary. I actually think we're going to have the damage output to easily get this in the end. As reinforcements show up, obviously ByuN is shoving through into his opponent's base, but he is extremely committed. He's extremely all in because SHIN is just going to continue to take bases down on the other side of the map. Bane's going to try and reach those Marines. A couple Widow Mines are not finding much. Oh no! ByuN with the miscontrol steps forward, and that is a pathing issue as he clicks back on the map. Half the units went to the bottom, half them went to the top. That is a painful couple moments. There's 27 SCVs have gone down. SHIN is in winning position here in game number 2. Looking to extend to a big lead in this grand final. 2-0 is a huge one. As, he's just looked so good today. These Banes are going to get SCVs in the corner as well. We'll see most of you guys in the next game. because yeah, I don't think they're going to get much chance to come back either. ByuN just trying to scrap together some more mines and marines, but SHIN with the transition to Ultra is something I don't think ByuN's in a position to deal with right now. He doesn't have the money to really forward Ghosts or anything, so if these Ultras continue through in any sort of sizable manner, I mean, that's just not going to go anywhere nice for ByuN. So right now, ByuN is still on a scary army. The army supplies are even, so this is a moment where ByuN can still try and get more done, as SHIN is still very reliant on the counterattacks and so. I mean, again, the run-bys have been amazing from SHIN all day. I cannot stress that enough. Today's run-bys from SHIN have been incredibly good. We step up, a couple creep teamers go down. Those Widow Mines are going to get burrowed. Some Banes will just pull up top and kill them. An explosion did go down, but a cleanup is a cleanup. ByuN has to lift him back away. We'll actually unload some of his units back here. Wants to maybe keep some position on the top side of the map. Things getting around the top right. The medevacs are pulling back as well. Trying to faster continues through. We do have our Lings going to get turned around one more time. Bio steps up a little bit, just going to go towards the upper left-hand side. And then Ultra Infesta continues through as well. As we push into the top left, Queen goes down. I just get there, medevacs get chased on the bottom side. We see the rest of the bio going to step in toward the gold base. A couple of those drones going down immediately also. We're actually going to get this kill. ByuN's army supply is holding on and hanging on for the moment. SHIN is in trouble, right? I mean, like, he is running out of bases. This felt like he was running away with the game. But ByuN is refusing to die. I think the big thing that SHIN has done is actually teching to Ultra Infesta. I think these units make the difference. If SHIN got caught on Lingbane Hydra, I think this is the kind of game you actually end up losing as a Zerg, and everyone's like, oh, Terran's so stupid. But I think SHIN's actually hit a perfect transition where it's actually going to be huge for him to have gotten to those units. He's made the game scrappy, but then usually Terrans can be very good in scrappy low eco scenarios, but against higher tech units, probably not so much. It would be nice to see one Infesta up to the top side. This is way too much bio. I don't think we should be trying to fight that as SHIN. I think that might just be a run the hell away moment or fight elsewhere. He's going to start taking the fight elsewhere because this should be where he outnumbers his opponent. Great fungal across the wall. He is going to catch everything here, and SHIN's going to have a ton of units to go deal damage with, so he will be into some bases. Now losing this base up here feels way less bad, as we are going to get over here. More SCVs going down. ByuN's down to 12 workers only. Pretty much no bases mining, the natural only, while Ultras are going to run over there straight away. We have to clean up this army at some point, though, as SHIN. He needs to kill ByuN's base. He's about to lose his Baneling Nest. He needs to actually kill ByuN's army. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. The Ultras are going to put in work, but yeah, how do you stop this army? Infestors are all dead? No, the Infestors are still alive. Infestors could be huge. Some of them have energy as well. Going to show up. We do have a Baneling going to finish. Some Hydras and Banes trying to get down this ramp. The fungal was very good, but the Banes weren't really there to capitalize. Now they are. The Ultras doing what they can. The Lings coming through as SHIN is going to get the cleanup. Only medevacs left in the skies, and SHIN will hold on to take game 2. GG. Wow. Left-hand corner. Our red Terran player from the shop. F5 Rebellion. We have ByuN. Top right, our blue Zerg is SHIN. Game 3. As we get into the early few moments, see what goes down, see what happens. SHIN drops a hatchery on the natural. SHIN wins as 3-0, and what a run it's been from him. Only lost in the whole tournament to Clem. No maps lost in the playoffs. If he wins this right now, it would be kind of nice to see, you know, ByuN take a map just for the sake of actually seeing some more games, because obviously we've been 3-0, 3-0 in the last couple of series. Would not be against seeing a little bit more action. That's a pretty reasonable request, isn't it? Surely. Reaper on the way up, as ByuN starts the orbital as well. Get that Reaper going. Gonna need to scout, needs to make sure of everything that's going on now, no room for error. Command center building, Reaper on the way up. Heads to the top right, obviously. Let's see if we can scout anything. I see our Reaper gonna find a couple Lings taking damage. Drone's gonna move about as well as the Lings continue to chase Mr. Reaper down. Things coming through, the drone's in production. Continue to trade that. The Lings, I see one going down already. The Queen gonna be there to push the Reaper back in the other direction as well. Speed building, drones producing. And a couple more command centers building as well as ByuN goes up to 3 bases in total, so gets those up and rolling here. Command coming through. You just watch to see if the Reaper does anything. Makes a little dive up the ramp. Gonna go for the creep tumor. Reaper gets the creep tumor into the main base. Make your getaway. Queen intercepts. It's nice to get the creep tumor. It's not so fun to lose the Reaper because you lose some of the scouting information that you could have potentially gained from that point on. So it's going to be a little sad. Impact building. Take a few moments. Settle this down. See what the next step of this game is going to be. As Marines are on the way out, so we're going to get that stim up. Obviously, just a couple of Hellions and really focusing on the bio play from there. So it's going to be the direction we kind of go in for the moment. Marines get the Overlord. Fire building up on the main base. Hellions will push to the front. Starport will finish from ByuN as the reactor is going to complete from ByuN as well, so that can play a bit of swapsies. Or not. Ooh. Ooh, are we going to build Hellions? Are we going to build an armory? Yes, we are. The moment you don't put the starport on the reactor means that this is going to turn into an all-in. Maybe not all in, but very aggressive compared to the expectation of this build. Because you're going to basically build extra Hellions, you're then going to morph in Hellbats, you're not as well set up for the future because you're not avoiding stuff like upgrades during this as well. Because it's triple CC, you're obviously not completely all in, but it definitely pushes you in that sort of a direction. As Marines and Hellions get to the upper right. Start to move through. Medevac overhead. Is going to be there. The Hellions morph into the Hellbats. And the Marines is going to step up. Now, there's a couple of roaches here that's definitely going to help to kind of deal with this, as we are going to be starting to deal some damage. So, there's 3 shots coming through. Just going to be seeing the Queen's going to get there, and that is going to be a defense. So, SHIN pushes this away very easily. Straight away, very comfortable defense to begin with there. Very nicely done. Marines in the Hellbat pulling back across. Again, Carapace upgrade coming through. That roach speed building in as well currently. Fieldling is going to go back up in the center. Marines Hellbat, the Medevac coming back over also, just for now. He's just going to step over. Queen actually goes down on that 12 o'clock, so that will fall. ByuN needs to kind of scrap together whatever he can. This is a good defense from SHIN. Like I say, this is not all in kind of the usual sense of an all in, but it's definitely a bit of commitment that now is not really delivered. He's going to +1 vehicle weapons early, which is kind of, I guess, something off of that armory that you wouldn't have had usually. So, yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a setup right there as the 1-1 comes through. The +1 vehicle weapons comes in. Concussive shells coming through. Medevac still producing as well. As the roaches come up to the top, the Medevac is going to be there. Infestation pit will be finishing shortly as the army of ByuN steps forward. Marines will get healed. Medevacs will lead the charge. We do have ourselves a +2 attack. Concussive shells coming through. All that gets taken down already. But Marine Marauder still sets up. Siege tank and more Medevacs coming through. The +1 vehicle weapons on the armory is also being produced, so like I say, get those upgrades completed, and ByuN will hit a bit of a power spike for upgrades being done in the game. Which Ravager continues up top. Hive about to complete. Next minute or so. Just load back up. Go over to that right-hand side. Oh, whoa, whoa, we actually get a one out the skies. The Medevac falls. What a capture here from SHIN. It's not every day you see a Medevac full of units just eat all 3 corrosive vials. This has been a game where it feels like there's been a lot of good moments for SHIN, and ByuN has been caught in a little bit of a struggle. 2 Vipers in production as the Baneling continues to build. Obviously, Vipers, that tech coming online is very important because you're going to get blinding clouds against the siege tank pushes. Bio steps up, the drones go down. Bane's just going to go for the overlord there. Bane's going to force this back. Hatch taking damage. Lings, oh yeah, no, because there's always a SHIN run by ready to go. Ancient is in a bit of trouble, though. He'll lose that right side base. Drop on the top left will deny that attempt of a base. He didn't get many SCVs with his run by, and I think he needs the Vipers to show up so he can actually blinding cloud these tanks and actually take this fight more comfortably. So he's a little bit cautious. He's waiting for the Vipers. They're consuming their energy right now. They'll be ready to go very soon. On that right side falls. I mean, we get knocked down to 4 bases. ByuN's only just taken 4, so it's not the end of the world for SHIN. Good to see ByuN doing something for himself. As the Medevac gets up to the top, then Hatchery will have to rebuild over there. Some Lings to support it this time. The Vipers in the main base are full of energy, so they are ready to go. He did not rush them over here the moment they could blinding cloud. He just kept them consuming, so now they have full energy, but it's actually going to end up costing you the base, maybe? No, Hatchery lives. We press forward. We need a blinding cloud. The tanks, we do hit 2. We hit the bio in the blinding cloud as well. Another blinding cloud behind is so good because what that enables is it means that the bio cannot fight. It cannot shoot when those blinding clouds go down. Huge moment there as the Ultralisks, Velocity Melee, and Chitinous plating continue to come over. Hatchery in the top left side will go down, and SHIN will survive what was a scary, probably the scariest moment in the game for him, because the first Hellbat attack he was extremely well prepared for. Well, ByuN has an economy in this game, and so he will get ghosts going against the Ultralisks, which are on the way out as well. So the preparation there from ByuN is on point. He's going to get the ghosts at the correct timing. Things are going to run through with a little bit of bio, stepping back. Just going to be seeing the Ravager, Roach, Bane moving through as well. A couple of Banes already connecting. Lings will continue to charge, looking for the wrap around here. Siege tank firing up a storm as some of those Lings will take some hits. On the upper right, and I mean, this base is in trouble. This base over here is funny because it's like, it's safe, but it's got no creep around it, so it's got none of that safety net Zerg usually has for their bases. And this hatchery's low from before. Oh, SHIN's actually going to start sending units back to go defend that. I actually don't know if it would have been better just to full send over here. I mean, the send over here is going very well anyways, which is why maybe just sending everything here, guarantee the continued push through might have been even better. because we do run out of stuff a little bit as we go down the ramp. The tank's still firing. The roach, I mean, a lot of units up here just sat still and not doing anything. Some snipes coming through. The Ultra's starting to chase a little bit. A little bit of a disjointed attack so far on the side of SHIN, but I think it might just be good enough anyways. 21 SCVs have gone down, and it does look as though we have got SHIN in the driver's seat of this game number 3. ByuN has his third base in the skies. There is a fourth planetary down to this bottom side, but yeah, I mean, SHIN also lost bases, right? Like, these hatcheries went down. It's good for SHIN, but it's not game winning because of what ByuN has been able to do on top of everything else that's been going on in the game. Ultras and Vipers continue through, +3 carapace coming up. The Lings go to wrap around. Medivac's load as well. Just going to see our Bioforce in the bottom left, setting up fourth base is going to be there. Focus building. The Medivacs go back over towards the top left-hand side. Still got the Ultra Cavern coming. All the Ultras coming through. Again, +3 melee and +3 carapace coming up as well. A few more shots coming about as our Banes continue to settle in. Vipers. I think should have parasitic bombed this medevac just to make this a more difficult scenario. Anyways, we are actually going to go fighting down this ramp as ByuN. Going to get jumped on, going to get cleaned up a little bit. Continue to chase. Just going to be seeing some of those. That tank getting jumped on as well. Ultra going to get there. And the Banelings find the SCVs. They're going for the Ghosts and the other bio units. Wouldn't have minded them going for the SCVs. They were just kind of sat there in the corner as well. Could not get out. Ultra so far looking good. The Ghosts unable to get some any snipes off. Once again, SCVs are dropping. The units are just reinforcing across the map. It's a stream of Zerg here on Ultra Love as SHIN looking to become a champion today. Our Lings arrive. Going to get turned around. The Ultras will get turned as well. SHIN will have to stop and reinforce once more. I mean, again, the supplies are kind of scarily close. He's adding on a few infestors. I like it because I think we're going to a similar situation as in the last game where it's like you need to make sure you've got the tech units to stop the Terran just having one massive army to kill you with. You've got to be able to handle that bigger army surge at some point, and the infestors definitely do a lot to make that survival happen. Lings run across the far left-hand side, so they pull back. The rest of the Bio Ghost coming through as well. Infestors, +3 melee. Evo Chamber coming through. The Ghosts are going to step through. The Overlord taking damage. Overlords will both go down. Here we go. A couple snipes come in. It's going to be a Ravager going down. The Lings all chasing through. Ultras are going to get there. The Ling Bane continues about another Blinding Cloud going down. Parasitic bombing the Medivacs. Feels like another decent fight. The Fungal Growth completely whiffs. I'm not sure if we're trying to catch a Medivac or what there, but I would like to see a Fungal on that Medivac. That's a full Medivac, and you can easily grab it. One Fungal would kill. Not going to happen, it seems, as we chase forward for the SCVs. SHIN holding the supply in his favor. Hatchery goes down again as ByuN is successful in a drop on the other side, so able to get that going at the same time. Dive into the planetary on the bottom. And Bane going to come through. That's a nice Fungal. Okay, that's a great use of the Banelings to knock down the base and a lot of SCVs. However, you've got to make sure you've got enough to survive here as well, right? Like, you give up a few units to do this, you can't die to the counterattack. You've got to be ready for it. That's why I still like the infested production that we're seeing from SHIN. It makes it so much harder to die to those counterattacks. This base is so funny to me. Like, this base feels like the most out there base that maybe should have been under so much pressure, but because SHIN's been fighting on the left side, ByuN's not being able to get there. The lack of creep around it has not mattered. That base has been here because SHIN's had so much trouble on the right side. I guess that makes sense because SHIN has been more so focused on this side of the map himself, but funny how that works out as some Lings and Ultras are going to get into this mineral line. SCV's maybe in trouble again. ByuN is going to be down below 30 workers in a moment if these numbers continue to drop. Orbital Command takes some hits, going to have to lift that up. Pulls ByuN's army back too, so it doesn't give him the chance to get across to the top left, which is maybe where ByuN was initially aiming his army at just then. SHIN diving back through every single time is such a frustration. This time the snipes do go off defensively though, and SHIN will finally run out of units to play defensively with. So now we're going to have to focus back onto actually attacking and dealing. Well, he's actually going to just give up this base as ByuN gets there. Well, maybe that's not a bad thing, because he can actually just play defense on these bases now, these hatcheries which he's failed to keep alive multiple times over at this stage. Well, EMP goes down. We're just going to be seeing the rest of this coming over. Medevacs are going to load up once more. 7 drones, 5 SCVs falling in these moments. A couple of Ultras, Lings, and Banes will continue to come by. More Ghosts coming through. We have got the Vipers consuming up a little bit. Run down over here. This Infestor jumps up to drop the Fungal. Because why not? Does die in the process. Probably wasn't worth it. We dive back down to the bottom left. Missile turret is going to try and go down. Doesn't quite manage to. Lingbane Ultra diving through. Good EMP hit the Vipers. The Vipers will not have any part of this fight. Does it matter? I don't think so. ByuN supply plummeting down below 100 in the 80s. Snipes out of reach. They will not get those Ultras. This Infestor is going to try and come and help out here. These snipes will go off as the Infestor getting hit by a tank getting out of reach. But ByuN is going to say GG as SHIN is going to take the 3rd game, making this the final game of the series and the tournament. Look at SHIN go through those players.